Please, sir, find the murderer. You have to clear me of all suspicion.
Yes, well, I'm fairly sure you didn't do it. I think it was Dr. Gephardt, but we should, of course, examine all the evidence, because if we don't, then the game won't let us continue. James the Butler. Worried about the consequences of his career if the murderer isn't caught. The Baroness's death in itself doesn't seem to concern him much, possibly because he's only been in her service for a couple of months. A few months, a couple would be 2 months, which it obviously isn't. Is the stowaway working with the murderer? What we do know is that Baroness von Trappist was shot while we were busy with the stowaway. Can we try and see where that was? He couldn't hear it on the forecastle. We can examine the gangway a bit more.
The gangway is hard to miss. Why did the murderer drop the gun on the gangway? They must have noticed the mistake,
Clang.
even if their back was to the sea. So, why didn't they take the gun and throw it a few meters farther into the sea?
We were up. Oh, go upstairs. Brilliant. We can have a look up here, can we? Because this would be directly above the... Ah, it is. So we were directly above.
We were here yesterday when we heard the shot, and it was also here where LeGrand caught our stowaway.
We were directly above, and they didn't hear it on the forecastle, so we were quite close. Can we examine the grate? Yes, we can.
The grate must be part of the ship's ventilation system. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Could someone have gone through it?
The grate shouldn't be so easy to open. Did the stowaway open it and we caught him in the act? No. The pipe is too narrow. He wouldn't fit in there. I guess the cover has been defective for a while. I could inform the captain that the grid has to be repaired, but if I start reporting all the problems on the ship, I'd have to shelve my murder investigation.
True enough. Anything else up here? You're around there. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Ooh, axe. Another one.
Why is there an axe hanging here? I suppose it's for chopping through ropes in the event that the lifeboats can't be lowered. Or they use it to enforce who's allowed on the boat and who's not.
Could be one way of dealing with stowaways. Ooh, door.
The ship's bridge. 2 men. One of them navigating. I get the impression that the officers keep things running. It seems like the captain concentrates on the passengers and the bar.
Search corner.
There's dirt piled up in the corner. Down below where the passengers are, the ship is pretty clean. But the crew doesn't seem to care as much up here.
Cool.
I better let the men do their work. If one of them had detected something yesterday, he'd already have informed LeGrand or the captain.
True enough. Let's head back down then. So the gun isn't brilliantly loud. We heard it because we were directly above it. Can we just go in anyway?
The stowaway surely didn't sleep well last night in the cargo hold, although his cell is probably more comfortable than my cabin, and more spacious. I have to talk to the young fellow right away. If I want to get into the cargo hold, I'll have to get rid of the constable first. He won't let me talk to our young friend.
True enough.
And what about the other gunshot? Could the second missing bullet from the murder weapon be stuck down there in one of the wooden crates?
I think so. There we go. He's pointing us in the direction I already was in. Brilliant. Very good to know.
I have to. And could the second?
Okay. And he'll just say the same thing. We do need to get rid of him somehow, but I don't know how yet. We'll figure things out, I'm sure. Is there something on the aft deck? Speaker. Yes, well done. Yeah, so there's not much new. Maybe I should try and talk to LeGrand then. Not much new has come about. Head back downstairs. Talk to LeGrand about what he's found. I don't know. Try talking to him. Maybe we can ask him something new, having gone into the Baroness's cabin.
Come in.
Sitting in the same place. Uh-oh.
Constable?
LeGrand? Inspector? The note.
I was able to make the traces of a note on the Baroness's notepad legible. She wrote that a murderer is on board and that she'll unmask him. She asks the recipient to meet her in the saloon at 10 p.m. If we can find the recipient.
I was the recipient.
Monsieur?
When I entered my cabin last night, I found a message on the floor. Someone must have slipped it under the door.
It started with
Why
Inspector.
didn't you say anything about it?
I didn't know that I was obliged to.
We are partners.
Not really. You're helping me out until we reach Cairo, because you somehow managed to remain on board.
But
I'll choose when and with whom I share information. You can accept that and continue assisting me, or you can spend the rest of the journey on a deck chair thinking about missed opportunities.
And none of this is by any chance related to the fact that the message doesn't suit your Raven theory. The Baroness knew the murderer from the past, and he was already a murderer when he boarded the ship. The Raven was always just a thief, not a murderer.
Careful, Constable. Are you accusing me of perverting the facts?
Of course not, monsieur.
Then let's get back to work. Good day, Constable.
No, feathers.
I found feathers in the Baroness's cabin.
Really?
Yes, under her bed.
I hope this is leading up to some information that justifies this interruption.
Some of the feathers are singed.
Show me. Well, you may have something here.
I think that someone fired a shot through a pillow or something like that, and the muzzle flash scorched the down.
Yes, possible. Try to find the pillow and we'll take it from there.
It's in the vase. It's in the vase. I know it. It's in the vase. The blood spot.
I took a closer look at the blood spot from the Baroness's bed.
Yes, what's wrong with it?
It looks odd.
Odd?
I think it should be darker.
I understand. The iron in blood causes it to darken the longer it's exposed to the air.
Yes.
Right. And
We don't have time to waste. Dr. Gebhardt, examine the body thoroughly. He would have noticed if anything was wrong.
And you trust Dr. Gebhardt completely?
I trust everyone as much as is advisable. There will be a complete autopsy in Cairo. Until then, the doctor is one of the few people on board who is not a suspect. You, him, the stowaway, Constable Oliver, and I all have alibis.
There are still enough suspects left. I'll be in touch if I uncover more clues.
But
Very well.
It's Dr. Gebhardt. He's the only one who makes sense. The locked door messed up his plans. Can we go in?
Neither Dr. Gebhardt nor Constable Oliver can keep up with LeGrand's pace. But in contrast to good old Robert, the doctor doesn't let himself get roped in for the long haul. I wonder what would happen if LeGrand dragged him out of bed for another investigation. Dr. Gebhardt locked the door, and until I have good reason, I won't wake him up. Something tells me that he wouldn't be amused.
Okay, so we need to come up with another thing. Right, we need to find a way of getting down into the cargo hold so that we can get the find this other bullet. We need to talk to the stowaway, although I don't think he's involved in the murder. Just looking for things to interact with. Ice bucket. What's an ice bucket got to do with anything?
The alcoholic drinks and everything that goes with them is top-notch on this ship.
Open it.
As expected, fresh ice and tongs.
Take the tongs. Yeah. Right.
Constable Zelda, what is the meaning of this? Are even the police light-fingered nowadays?
I need this tool for a criminal investigation.
Well then, why didn't you say so? But bring the tongs back when you're done, otherwise I'll have cold fingers all day.
Right. Come on, Zelda. We can now get the pillow. Show that to LeGrand. Which will, of course, change the time of when she died, when the Baroness died, because, of course, it would have been a muffled gunshot, so we wouldn't have heard it. There we go. I know what I'm doing. He lied.
Could work. There's something in there.
Yeah, it's the pillow.
Ah. Someone stuffed this in the vase. Looks like it's been used to muffle a gunshot. If this isn't an important discovery, I don't know what is. LeGrand, here I come.
Okay, so I should go to him now, shall I?
What a discovery. This pillow was obviously used to muffle a shot.
Obviously.
LeGrand, here I come.
Okay, so that's the dialogue we've already had.
The metal of the tongs feels cold from the smooth handle all the way to the tips. The Sibling brand reel from the Baroness's cabin, the tape that came on it, and the reel that belongs to the player are both gone.
Let's go back. Let's go and put the tongs back. Don't know, does that give me like extra points? Because this game does have points to it, so we'll put that. I want to I want to give him the tongs back. Maybe I need it for something else actually, but
I'm sure Captain DeConti wouldn't mind a chat, but I don't think he can help me at the moment.
I want to give him the tongs back. Can't do anything with the tongs. Okay. We'll just head back to LeGrand then. Tell him about the pillow. He'll probably bother Gebhardt, who will probably be like, meh, meh. Except probably more coherent and with a German accent.
A singed pillowcase is proof that there must have been a second gunshot.
Yes. Well done.
Inspector?
Oh.
Can't you knock?
I didn't realize. I'm really...
I'm not getting anywhere. I'm going to question each passenger individually. Anyone without an airtight alibi will be checked for gunshot residue.
But, Inspector...
People trip up when you put pressure on them, Constable Zellner. The Raven is nervous. He's changed his methodology and become a murderer.
We've already discussed this.
I'll see it in his eyes. After you.
But, Inspector LeGrand... We have no proof that the Raven and the murderer are the same person. Quite the opposite. The Baroness's message hints at the fact that she knew the murderer and that he'd killed before.
You may not know it, but I do. I will catch him with or without your help.
I don't believe it. What's gotten into him? Ah, well. It makes no sense to tell him about my theories if his opinion is already set. I need evidence. Or better yet, the murderer. I also need his lab if I'm going to get anywhere. I need to get in there somehow. And I really need to talk to the stowaway. He may have information, and the inspector will just ignore him, since he's too young to be the Raven.
Right. Can we go... We just talk to Gebhardt and just get in there. I think it's going to be some interesting evidence in there.
Dr. Gebhardt closed the curtains from inside, which was the right thing to do. Who'd want to be greeted by a corpse on the way to breakfast?
Can I go in?
Dr. Gebhardt locked the door, and until I have good reason, I won't wake him up. Something tells me that he wouldn't be amused.
True. Let's try and get back in to LeGrand's cabin. How are we going to do that? Didn't he lock the door?
LeGrand locked the door.
Oh, do we have a hairpin? Or another bit of wire or something?
The lock isn't especially secure. If I had a wire or something like that, I could probably pick it.
So Zellner, very convinced the Raven's not involved in the murder. Very convinced that the Raven's not involved in the current burglaries and whatnot. Very convinced that the Raven is a gentleman. Knows how to pick locks. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe he's just a fan of the Raven. I took de Kreutzer. Oh, Captain de Conti is gone.
Mr. Kreutzer, come on, you have to give me a bit more. You're the only one who was on the train and who has no alibi for last night.
As I said, I was in my cabin.
Are you sure that it was your cabin and not the Baroness's?
LeGrand will question the guests, one after another. But if he doesn't get the answers that he wants to hear, it could become unpleasant for them.
One of those problems of, I can't put that back yet. Ooh, chafing dish. Torturers, isn't it? You torture till you get the answer you want. Which is not the good thing. Oops.
English ham and eggs. One advantage on an international trip is the international breakfast. Many of my fellow countrymen think it's outrageous to eat fried bacon, sausages, or anything heavy for breakfast. I, on the other hand, think ham and eggs are the only worthwhile contribution the English have made to international cuisine.
Can't really owe you with that, can I? Ooh, coffee. Why did I say ooh? I don't like coffee. Oh, you're trapped. Oh! Dear, sorry. I thought he was glitching and moving around and all this. He's having some coffee. Strange individual.
That's just what I needed.
Hooray! Maybe I could use the tongs. No. It's all going to be ham and eggs, isn't it?
It's not fair. There's a magnificent buffet, but I don't have an appetite. Maybe a side effect of the tranquilizer.
Maybe we could...
It's not...
Okay, it's just going around. Maybe we could... maybe we could encourage Constable Oliver to come and have some... You alright, Zellner? I'll have to skip, I think. Maybe we can convince Constable Oliver to have a bit of breakfast, and then he'll leave. And of course, we'll guard the cargo hold from the inside. But we'll guard the cargo hold, certainly.